이 책에서 가장 영리한 동물의 멸종을 이제 고민하기 시작하셨어요. 가장 지적이라고 하는 이 호모 사피엔스가 심지어 자기 파괴적인 그런 행동들을 보이고 있는데 이것에 대한 교수님의 통찰은 어떤지 좀 궁금합니다.
Because there is a paradox at the basis of our power. Our power in the world as a species, it doesn't really come from our individual intelligence. It comes from the ability to cooperate in very large numbers. Chimpanzees can cooperate, say, 20 or 50 chimpanzees. We can cooperate in 20 million, in 200 million, 2 billion people can cooperate. The global trade network really connects all 8 billion people. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, sometimes they are produced by people on the other side of the planet. This is the deep source of our power, and it's actually based on fiction, because the method we use to connect people is mostly by telling fictional stories. Religions, ideologies, even money. Money has no objective value. It's just a story that everybody believes. Now, this gives us a lot of power, but it also means that the power might be used in the service of a fantasy and sometimes of very dangerous fantasies. This is why we are at the same time the most powerful animal and the most self-destructive animal.
사실 굉장히 현재 시대에 오면서 오히려 잘못된 정보가 바로잡히는 게 더 어려워지는 그런 현상들이 일어나고 있어요. 아까 그 하라리라는 성을 바로잡는데 정말 안 되더라.
레바논.
네, 레바논 성. 네네. 이런 얘기를 하셨지 않습니까? 그러니까 AI는 굉장히 정확할 것 같지만 잘못되거나 아니면 틀린 정보는 점점 더 퍼져나가고 심지어는 음모론으로 발전해 나가는데 사실 심리학자들은 이 현상을 어떻게 거짓이 진실로 변하는가에 관련된 연구들을 많이 보거든요. 이것과 관련해서 이제 디지털 마녀 사냥, 이 마녀 사냥 비유를 많이 하셨잖아요. 어떻게 하면 이 악순환과 연결고리를 끊을까요?
Well, you know, the most basic principle has been formulated by the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany, Joseph Goebbels. He said almost a century ago, if you tell a lie once, it remains a lie. If you repeat a lie 1,000 times, it becomes the truth. This was his basis for Nazi propaganda, and this is still the case that if you just repeat the same lie, the same fake news, the same conspiracy theory again and again and again, then people believe it. And in the kind of news market or information market, the truth suffers from 3 big disadvantages. First of all, the truth is costly, whereas fiction and lies are cheap. The truth is costly because if you want to write the truth about anything, nuclear physics or psychology or history, you need to do a lot of research. You need to invest time, effort, money, gathering evidence, analyzing it, fact-checking it. It's very costly. Fiction, in contrast, very cheap. You just write anything you want, very cheap. Secondly, the truth is often complicated because reality is complicated. And people don't like complicated stories. Usually people like simple stories. And finally, the truth is sometimes unpleasant, even painful. People go to a psychologist because they need help in understanding the truth about their life. Why? Because it's often painful. If it was very attractive, they wouldn't need the help of therapists. And it's all the way to the level of entire nations that often don't want to know the truth about themselves and what they have done in the past or what they are doing now. So in this competition between costly, complicated, painful truth and cheap, simple, attractive fiction, fiction tends to win. So if you have a completely kind of open market of information, the truth will be flooded, will sink under an ocean of fictions and fantasies and lies. If we want to get to the truth, we need to give the truth help. One help is establishing institutions that are dedicated to researching the truth, even though it's costly and complicated. So universities and media organizations like newspapers and courts, these are three examples of institutions that are dedicated to the research of the truth. People sometimes, they say, we don't need these institutions. Why not have just kind of a free market of information? Everybody can say anything they want and the truth will float to the surface. It won't. It will sink to the bottom. Now, one of the problems is that we are flooded by enormous amounts of information, including fake news, conspiracy theories, produced by bots and algorithms and AIs. And we need a very strong regulation against AIs that pretend to be human beings. If you go online and you see something or you read something, you need to know, is this something that is said by a real human being? Or is it a bot or an AI pretending to be a human being? I would advise extreme caution before we censor human beings. This is protected by freedom of speech. And even if a human being says a lie online or somewhere, should be very careful before we censor it. But bots don't have freedom of speech. So we need to, as quickly as possible, have a very clear law that bots cannot pretend to be human beings and pollute our information sphere with these enormous amounts of fake information produced by fake people.
그런 과거의 전통적인 관점으로 사람과 그다음에 사람의 기술을 대하는 이 관점을 바꾸지 않으면 우리는 이제 대혼란의 시기에 들어가야 되리. 그것도 아주 빠르게 올 텐데.
이미 들어가고 있다고 생각해요.
그렇죠.
사실은.
네.
그래서 통제할 수 없다면 어떤 일이 벌어질 것인가에 대해서 계속 얘기가 나오고 있는 중이잖아요. 근데 그 문제에 대해서 좀 명확하게 설명을 해주신 것 같아요.
네.